just needs to come back a little bit. Welcome to the OUTPOST ASMR Dungeon. Also known as my garage underneath my house. You will notice today that I am affecting with my left arm a considerable amount. It's because that's where the microphone is. Today we are using a Sony Stereo Lav that I've had forever and I've just never tried it yet. So here we are, trying out a new mic. I might have to switch this up a little bit though because it's kind of weird like talking to the sides of your arm like this. But you'll see why this is what we chose to do in a moment. I don't know what the quality on this is. It's the Tascam, so I assume it's pretty darn good. But this might be a, what do you call it? Sorry, brain not working. Need coffee. I have some absolutely delicious local roast in a mason jar because I like iced coffee, but I didn't have time to make it iced, so I'm just letting it get to room temperature really fast. So a couple things before we get into today's item. This is my punching bag. I'm sure we'll do something with that in the very near future. But today's item is extremely important, and I just had one of those epiphanies or revelations that I need to catalog it sooner rather than later. And while pulling them out just now, I'm glad I chose to do that because we're gonna get a lot of ambient noises today. They're considerably more dinged up than I thought they were. This isn't my mic, this is my coffee. Hold on, I need to put this down. Oh, here's an even better idea. Let's put it by the punching bag as opposed to the poop pipe. Ain't no rules say we can't move the lav around. In fact, I think we will. These are the travelers, or this is the traveler. We are all the traveler, and none of us are the traveler. We'll get into the silly in a minute, but these might look a little bit familiar to you. The channel logo, which is not AI. I will have you know. Let's just hop right in, I guess, before I actually start tingling on anything. All of my creative endeavors are in a universe in my head. They all have a central connecting hub. All the ideas come from a unified kayfabe, which is the traveler and the outpost. We are all the traveler. We are all adrift in space, connected to everything and the most isolated we've ever been at all times. Tethered but far, far away, sending out signals, hoping anything reaches anyone. I'm not really going to say too much about the overarching concept because there's a lot more in that universe left unexplored. definitely want to hash out in creative avenues that are not ASMR, for sure. As I've hinted at, I am an industry professional, a creative, and a creator. And many years ago, I worked at a facility. I was the designer at a facility that was capable of producing practically any kind of signage imaginable. Vehicle wraps, large format, billboards, die cuts, we made grip tape for skateboards at a point, flatbed printers, CNC machines. We had all kinds of crazy stuff, and every once in a while we'd get some refuse that was either misprinted or not fit to sell to the customer. And one time I was like, hey, can I have this stuff and put something on it and, cut it out and all that? And they're like, sure, it's ruined material. Hold on real quick, let me show you guys. As you can see, it was some kind of camo print on the back. I believe it was to be like a wall mural for a restaurant, and they didn't like how it came out. So I was like, hey, let me print on the other side, because this stuff is insanely expensive. This is aluminum, and then a composite, and then aluminum with a printable surface. This is like unobtainably expensive for most people. Man, I wish I'd taken better care of these over the years. But I had my character printed on them. I set up the CNC machine to die cut them out, and they are essentially almost life-sized standees of the Traveler, who represents represents a lot. This is some really good coffee. Really good. I don't know if I'm actually really going to consider this an ASMR video or not. I might just be like a whispering show and tell. Because there's a lot of audio interference out here. But I'm also not sure I care. Alright, so these characters, sorry, I said stroke of genius here. This character, I have been imagining quantifying and quantitating, amalgamating and mutilating in all kinds of forms of art for probably the last 20 years. Like I said, it's the Traveler. That banner picture on the channel, the cover, I guess, and then the avatar are just extrapolations from a digital artwork I made about 10 years ago. That is, I believe, probably my best rendering of the Traveler. In a way that is easily interpretable for the viewer. It's just like an ambiguous humanoid in a spacesuit of some kind of unknown material that is both like radiant and translucent at the same time. So you can see the person sort of floating in space in like a crystalline form, but it's also organic and moves with the person. It fully encapsulates them. There's no like zippers or anything. It's representative of a cocoon or a shell, adrift in space, tethered with all the means to survive. I don't know, whatever's needed by this species of humanoid comes through that tube. They're just out there, adrift in the infinite ethers of the universe, perceiving colors and sounds of unknowable origin from across the universe, as far away from them as imaginable, yet still able to see nebulas of beautiful, floating, astral I'm being silly on purpose. Alien spaceman out in space be like, wow, bro, space cool, but also like me lonely out here. Sending out signals, receiving signals, lights and sounds. There's a lot of nebulous, abstract representation built into the concept. Like, for example, the entire idea that if you get too close to something, it disappears. We're on Earth. We see plants. When you look up at the night sky, assuming in some universe we didn't have electricity and there was no light pollution, you could see the nebulas. You would be seeing nebulas that blow your mind. But the closer and closer you get to them, the less of them you're going to see. You become part of them. Then you're on their planet. Then you're looking at their graphs. And you look up at the night sky and you see a nebula. And it's beautiful and far away. And the closer you get to that one, the more it disappears. Until you're on a planet in that nebula, looking at their graphs, it never ends. It's fractal. It's truly infinitely conceptual. It means everything and nothing to me at the same time. It is silly. It is abstract. It is physical in form. It's an ASMR channel. It's the schizophrenia in my mind. It's the idea that plagues me. It's ennui and anami at the same time. It's your wife and it's thinking about God. It's how you perceive the universe entirely. And your id and your ego and how they are inside you and sheltered by you, and you can only perceive the world the way you do. You can never perceive it the way someone else does, and vice versa. That's the traveler, because we are all travelers on this life's journey. I've rendered this character probably 20 or 30 times in different art medias and ideations and forms. And I'm sure at some point I'll give you a little like show and tell of my actual art stuff, because I've never shown any of it to anyone. I have never reached out with my ideas or my concepts or my artworks to try and show them, because I'm terrified of them being rejected or laughed at, and I'm not anymore, so it's like I'm talking about the past. But for the last 20 years, all of my creativity has gone in a box, because that's very personal, and that's me, and that is expression, and that is decompression. And then I get up and I go to work, and that's the other side of me. Sorry, what the f*** was that? Some good coffee. Yeah, I wasn't making art for other people, I was making art for me. Because when your art is also your job, it becomes very... It's a hard concept to explain, so bear with me while I throw a bunch of words out and try and come to the conclusion I'm aiming for. It's dehumanizing to use something deeply personally to you to make money, in a sense. It is, if you are an artist and you go to school for art, and then you have to go work in a studio and get used to someone telling you that they don't like your shit every single day, you either develop a rhino thick skin, disassociate from your art and don't see it as yours anymore but a product or a thing you create, or you quit. There is no other option. You either get used to it, which is a breed of people, you disassociate from it, which is me. My designs are not my art. They are not me. My work is not me. I do not take critique personally, and I'm a very good designer because of it. But if I pitched this to my employers, which would be very silly, and they said this is f***ing dumb, I'd quit. Which is why it's for me. realizing that you don't have to either do something completely for yourself or do it for an audience. You can do something for yourself and show it to people. And if an audience forms, great. If it doesn't, whatever. Way back in an early video, I believe I said, someday you're gonna, and that's gonna, your failed ASMR channel is gonna pale in comparison to your funeral. That's a happy statement. That's freeing. That's like, I don't know if you guys have seen this meme, but the two types of what is it called? I need coffee to jog my brain. Nihilism, the two types of nihilism. The kid on the skateboard being like, yeah, nothing means anything, bro. It's that. Nothing means anything. Shoot your shot. Don't take it so personally. Chillaxify yourself. You're just gonna get old and die. Do it while you're young. Don't worry about being shit on. It doesn't matter. Go in your garage and tap on shit. No. Okay, I'm done. Speaking of which, like I said, the punching bag's gonna get its own video at some point. But I needed to get this off my chest. And since this is an ASMR channel, I'm gonna have to find a way to do that. It's not awful. Maybe we'll just do a little audio exploration of these, just because that's what we do. And then most of this will just be whispering, and I'm not really going to tag this as an ASMR video. The ink is actually raised. It's not quite UV, but it is sort of like an enamel. You have to print on top of these with a very specific cured ink. I don't know if you guys can really make out what you're looking at here, but it's like head, ear. You got the it and the ego, the goo in the middle, the brain, the thoughts, the soul, whatever. But also my art style is very abstract. It's very much black and white because that's been like my number one theme in my art is trying to portray the grays. And there's no better way to do that in a media that's non-permissive. Do it like black and white. I love making life hard for myself. So, you got an ambiguous either chest, one or the other. An arm, your typical ganglias, which is reverse knockout, so there's no print in here. A little bit of a booty, gotta have that cake. Lower ganglias, and that's the person inside the suit, and they're fully encapsulated in sort of like a crystalline, organic robot kind of thing. So it's got organic curves, but then a lot of sharp lines that follow the contour of the body, and they actually do sort of match the points of articulation. You've got the mechanism for reaching out, the signals and the sights, the sounds. That's why it's things that are important on this are like the sensory organs. Touch, hear, see. Taste's not really represented, but I mean, I can't really send you tastes through the internet, so that's never really been a big important one. But tactileness, I think, is really important. Like I was saying, to try and push non-permissive media to was like the moneymaker. So I made sausage, making the sausage. Okay, I do have this the right way. I originally intended to take these two pieces and put them back to back and then have like a strip running down the seam between the two, so it was like a volumetric sign. Flat, a little volume, and then flat on the other side, so you know it's printed. And then that camo stuff on the inside would be hidden. And then I was going to make it, the inside bit was going to be like a Mylar or a Lexan, and I was going to internally illuminate it and make it a big standing lamp. But like I say, life gets away with you. You're at one job, you're working on a project, all of a sudden that company goes out of business, and you spend literally the next 5 years trying to find a forever career. You go through 4 jobs in 5 years, you go on unemployment a couple times, you learn how hard life is, you get hungry, you get thin, you make money again, you get fat, you worry about your health, you get back on your health grind. Life's hard, bro. But then all of that clears up and everything's still the way it was. It's all the same. You're still beating your head on the wall the exact same way. 10 years went by in the blink of an eye. You just went through ups and downs. You didn't get any of your projects done. That's the moments that make a man. Make you really think about what you're doing with your life. Make you think, I always wanted to do this. I'm gonna do it. Because this is the last chance. You start counting years. You go, well, if I'm X years old and it takes this many years to get popular, and X many years is the typical YouTube career, when that X years is up, that would put me at Y years old. And if I start any later, there's absolutely no way I'm going to be doing X, Y, Z into my 1, 2, 3 years. Blah, blah. It's mental math. Mental breakdowns. But like I said, everything eventually feels like it doesn't matter and you chill about it. I could not care less that I've never done anything with these. The concept is so deeply personal to me that I really don't want to shoot a shot at it. That's why the ASMR channel is sort of like themed in it. It's just sort of a chip off the idea. I'm not making like a Papa Meat animation out of these guys. I'm not spending 2 years not learning a new craft, actually getting really good and creating a polished product in a regard, and then having it just never catch the algo. I'm not doing it. You gotta start somewhere, and it is absolutely not starting with your magnum opus, because that's how you feel bad, to put it lightly. Do something small. Work your way up. These are all things that, like, I've realized throughout my life. Or what held me back is because every idea I thought I had was like a magnum opus. I never had any small thing to do to kind of build up fame or kayfabe or whatever. Get known, have a platform, have at you. It doesn't matter. Because I thought everything you needed to make something worth someone's time to look at, and someone is everyone. When you're just throwing it out there and you think it's the most important thing anyone's ever going to see. That's not how it works. That's just setting yourself up for failure and disappointment on a colossal, nearly celestial level. Have smaller goals. Have stepping stones. That's what I've learned in the last 10 to 15 years through my professional career, which is, as much as I complain about it, unfortunately, where I've learned everything I've learned through the breakdowns of that and the disassociating my art from my professional life is nothing matters. You don't have much time. You don't have to start with your magnum opus. You don't just drop a multi-billion-dollar campaign and go, alright guys, heat it up. You gotta start in steps. You gotta start a company small. You gotta work your way up through it. My studio experience has shown me that you don't just jump on at 10. You have to poke them a little bit. See, you have to have a billboard, you have to have an ad on Spotify, you have to have a bunch of different access points. You have to put yourself out there, because no press is bad press, and that actually starts to make sense when you realize that it's just about getting noticed. It's about having content to put out in certain cadence. It's about marketing. That's it. We're all products. Everything we do is a product. Every idea you think is worth sharing with someone else is a product. It's a consumable. If you look at the world like you're a business and it's a business and everything's a business, and this is a very, I'm talking like Jungian shit, not like, capitalism good or communism good. I'm not even near that. I mean, what you selling, buddy? Why should I listen to you? You've got a 5-second elevator pitch to tell me why I need to sub to your channel. If you do it once and it's the most perfect pitch ever, you're going to catch a couple people, because a lot of people are just going to be having a bad day. They're not going to give a shit about what you said. It doesn't matter. It's going to fall on deaf ears. You're going to get a 1% CTR. Like, nothing about it matters. It's a throwaway. That's why you have to come up with something that is for the mean, the median, and the mode of people. You have to have an idea that will hook everyone. And you have to pitch it a lot. You can't walk out on stage one time with one idea that you think is amazing and try and tell it to people in the biggest words you can and think that everyone's gonna go, oh my god. It's not gonna happen. You gotta go out there and be like, well, free candy. That's how you're gonna get them. And you gotta do that a couple times. Life is marketing. It's not politics. Politics is marketing too. I'm getting on a big soapbox here because I realize these are not very tinglicious, so I'm not really going to tap on them. This is just going to be a rambly, whispery video with outside noises and me drinking coffee. Maybe a Sunday filler. I like doing those. It's mostly just to show that I exist. Show that my characters and my ideas are real. I'm not AI. My channel is not AI. All of my art is my art, and it is real art. Hi, how's it going? I'm OUTPOST. I don't know. I just thought it'd be a good, well, for me it actually is Sunday afternoon, so it's a Sunday afternoon chat. Actually, how much time we got on this thing? I sure hope I pushed record. Oh good, it is still recording. We've been out here about 30 minutes. Well, you got some punching bag tingles. I tried to tap on this thing a little bit, but it's really just not. It's a weird material. It's like a plastic composite between two layers of really thick tin foil. Sheet metal, aluminum. It's a nice day. I just felt like getting outside, testing out the little lav. Yeah. I guess most importantly, I just want to make sure that there's a record of these somewhere, if just for me and my peace of mind. So anyway, thank you for hanging out with me in my garage. It's getting kind of warm. So I think I'm probably going to wrap it up now. If you actually sat here and listened to all of this, God bless you. Thank you, genuinely. Thank you for receiving these signals. I hope any of the words I said made any sense to you at all and did anything helpful. All of that was to say a good thing. People take everything too seriously. Life is not that serious. It's very short, it's very terminal, and people need to have more fun. So, I really hope that was a happy thing for you and not a downer. Life's marketing. Figure out how to sell yourself in a way that you can live with, in a way that you can smile at. That's for